I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Stelina. Together, we are moms to 5 children, including 2 sets of twins.
At Tweet Dreams, we are passionate about helping families achieve the peaceful night's rest they deserve because we were formerly overwhelmed and sleep deprived ourselves.
We love nothing more than helping families achieve their specific sleep goals,
so the whole family can be rested and thriving.
On this podcast, you'll not just hear about sleep-related topics. We'll chat about how it started,
where we are today,
and the experiences that have shaped us as mothers of twins.
We hope you'll enjoy listening to the ups and downs,
the highs and lows, and everything in between.
Hey, welcome back to Twin Life with Tweet Dreams. It's summertime and we're getting into the summer months, and I've seen so many posts and things on social media where mamas are taking their first trip with their twins, or maybe their second trip, or somewhere different. So we've done a travel episode before, but we wanted to talk through what summertime travel looks like. And I think the main questions that we have, or things that we're planning for, are are we taking a plane or car drive? Where are we staying? Is it a hotel or a condo, Airbnb? And then what gear are we taking? Because let's be honest, so much stuff. I recently saw somebody had a hack, and Selena, you can tell me kind of what you do with this, because you guys take a lot of car trips, whether it's 1 to 2 hours away, weekend, that's kind of your jam. And
totally is. Yep.
The farthest you've gone, travel perspective, with your kids. So do you have any tips to pack up the car for a weekend? I know some of your gear gets to live at your in-laws house, for example.
Right.
But how do we make that work if we have twins or we have 3 kids? What are we taking? How are we simplifying it? And also what stroller are we using? Because you're still in stroller stage, not so much with your twins, but maybe-ish. So just tell me what's going on over there.
Yeah. So for my son, he's 21 months, and I definitely still pack the stroller for him. I'm always going to have it in the trunk, just because as much as he loves to walk, sometimes it's easier for him if he's not walking. Okay. So I use the mom push for him. They also have a double of that one. And if I had known about that for the twins, I definitely would have looked into purchasing that one, because I love the single one of it. It's pretty compact. For taller moms, I love it because I'm super tall. I'm a little over 5'10", and I just find that a lot of these strollers are made for people more average height, which makes sense. But for me, I love that it's a little bit higher, so it doesn't kill my back. It also has storage on the bottom, but it's also compact and it's pretty smooth. And the price point isn't bad at all. So that's on Amazon, and I love that one for him. So I always have that in the car. As far as portable stuff, I have the portable sound machines. That's really easy for me to pack and unpack. I always put them in the same spot, and I always have those. Those are really easy. And like I spoke about in another episode, I try to pack most of the stuff the day before and leave only the things that I really cannot pack for day of. So things that I cannot pack are sleep sacks, because they wear those at night. So I have to pack those in the morning. Loveys, because they're sleeping with those. That would be catastrophic if I ever forgot them. So I always write myself notes everywhere. I'm like, Loveys, sleep sacks. I would have to turn around. So yeah, it's that bad. What else do I do? So yeah, the Loveys, the sleep sacks, and I'm still using baby monitors for all of my kids. So I like the Lollipop. That's what I use. It's Wi-Fi based. I have 3 of them. Love this camera. It's so easy to place anywhere. How do I explain this? So it kind of actually looks like a lollipop. That's why it's called Lollipop. And the stick, for lack of a better word, is malleable. So you can really put it anywhere. Okay. So we've talked about this before. I have put my kids in walk-in closets, weird spots when I needed them to sleep, especially when they were younger. And I would find myself just being like, oh, I'm just going to hook it onto this part of the rod of the closet, for example. And cool, it works. And you just hook it up to the Wi-Fi, and it's really easy.
Okay. And so then these are the ones that you use at home. We're just bringing them along with you on the trip, right?
I do, because I find that it's really easy to just get on the Wi-Fi wherever I am. It takes me like 2 to 4 minutes to set them up. Right. I just need the Wi-Fi password. And I've done it so many times now that I just know how to get these cameras on another Wi-Fi. And like I said, it's not, these cameras specifically are really easy to put anywhere. So it's not like I have to like reinvent something. I can really just like hook it anywhere.
I was going to piggyback off that because I had a note to talk about baby monitors and cameras. And especially when you're using a pack and play, we can't look through the mesh, right? And I ran into that a lot.
Yeah.
It just picks up the mesh of the pack and play where we're not like looking through the slots of a crib, for example. So I did run into that where it's like, okay, I guess I could just go by movement because I really can't see her. And I had this like the traditional baby cameras where they were like round on the bottom and they wanted you to put a nail in the wall. I was thinking that if we did have those, we could just like buy some 3M tape or 3M double-sided tape that was like strong enough to hold it. That way you could get like a higher angle to like look into the pack and play. Because I mean, I don't know about you, but like I want eyes on my kid, especially when we're in like a different home and things like that. So I do love that those exist and I know that you like them. And so if somebody's like listening and, hey, I actually want to like revamp and go to Wi-Fi, because I don't know if you've used this from the beginning, but I started out with just like closed circuit and then I moved over to Wi-Fi like once they got older. So this is kind of like, this is your one-stop shop for like everything to use the lollipops.
It's great. I really love these cameras. I can't say enough good things about the cameras. So they're good for home, travel, pretty average price point. So I love those cameras. What else do I do? Let me think. So depending on where I'm going, we travel a lot to our parents' houses who live on opposite ends of where we live. We live kind of right in the middle. So my husband's parents live approximately an hour south, and then my parents hour to an hour and a half north if we're going to their summer house, maybe a little bit further. And I'm lucky in the sense that I can park some stuff there, right? So we have some cribs there. I've had pack and plays in the past. I definitely have like a few toys that I've just left there before, things like that. And what I do sometimes is send like an Instacart order of food that I know my kids like. I'll bring some of the snacks. Yeah, diapers. I'll bring some of the snacks from my house, depending on like what I have. But for example, milk, things like that. I'll just tell my mom, hey, are you going to be home at this time? I'm sending an Instacart order there in advance, just so I know we have the things that they like. I've definitely ran into before like, oh, my mom said she was going to get milk and it slipped her mind, and not the end of the world. We can totally Instacart it in this day and age, like right away, or we can just run out to the store, right? But I just find that having these little things done in advance really helps me. Like, okay, we know my kids like the frozen waffles. Let's just get those. They're there. They're in the freezer, right? So doing stuff like that really helps me. And even if you're traveling far away, you can still use Instacart where you're going, or Prime, yes, wherever you're going. So you can just grab the app, and I find it really convenient. It really just like takes something off my plate to be like, okay, I know they're going to like this food. I know I'm going to have it available for when they need it. So I do that. Same thing with diapers and wipes.
Hey girl, are you tired? Not only tired from lack of sleep, but tired from searching all over the internet for sleep advice that's specific to your twins? Here at Tweet Dreams, we know that twin-specific advice and routines should be easy to find and access, and that's why we are a one-stop shop for you as a sleep resource. Our blog is chock full of advice for twins when it comes to naps, night weaning, sleeping through the night, and so much more. Not sure where to start? Be sure to grab our free twin sleep guide available for download today. This guide will walk you through an optimal bedtime routine, how to keep them synced throughout the day, and how to keep a routine going. As twin moms, we know how special those breaks are, and we want you to have them. Check out the show notes to grab your copy.
And then another thing that I've learned is to kind of just take a deep breath and relax a little bit. It's hard for me. I am super type A. I want everything done right, done how I have it at home. Like, I want bedtime the same. I want the same timing. Like, this is just how I am. But I think with age, my age and my kids' aging up a little bit, I've been able to kind of just be like, okay, I think I told you a couple of weeks ago, went to the aquarium near my parents' house in Boston, and then there was traffic and all my kids skipped their nap. Okay. First time ever that my son skipped his nap. First time in 21 months. Can you believe that? And, it was fine. I'm not saying I want to skip it all the time. And the next day I was still at my parents' house and everybody napped and it was okay. But, if stuff like that happens, especially in a situation where, we were living, like we went to the aquarium, we walked around Boston, we visited my brother who lives in Boston, we got ice cream, like they were having an amazing time. By the time we got home, it was almost 2:30, way past our nap time. Could I have put my son down late? Sure. But he was so stimulated, like he just wanted to play. And I was like, all right, early bedtime tonight. We're going to live. It's going to be okay. So if you're traveling, like just try to not be so hard on yourself. I definitely have been on myself in the past. And as long as everybody's having fun, no one's getting hurt, and you're doing the best you can, just kind of know that there's going to be some hiccups in the schedule and it's going to be okay.
I know. Definitely easier said than done. And I think the more you do it and the more you travel, the more you can kind of relax because everybody survives, everything's okay. You made the memories, you took the pictures. I always kind of like flash back to the first time we took my twins on a trip, which was on an airplane at 4 months old. Like,
that's brave.
A lot of guts. It's super brave, a lot of guts to do that. And I think when we think about traveling on a plane, it kind of shifts with the age. So just a couple of tips on taking new, like babies on a plane is we 100% need their car seats and a stroller. Yes, could we baby wear if we had a singleton? We could. But if a lot of the mamas here are probably with twins, we can't baby wear two typically. And then we have nowhere to set the child, right? And a car seat is somewhere to put the child if you need to use the restroom, grab something at the store or whatever that is. So I feel like that's definitely something that's needed within the first year. So when we took that trip, we had like that baby trend, like snap and go, where the pumpkin seeds went into it. And the biggest tip here is to take that all the way through security, like have it at the gate with you, like I said, so you have somewhere for the kids to go and they're napping really frequently. And then you'll just check all that at the gate and then they'll give it back to you as you come off. And then you have your car seats. Depending on what you want to do with the bases, you will need a base. So I think at that time, they may have been just like shoved underneath the stroller. They went with the gated or, the gated stuff, but there are some things you could do with that because it's a lot of moving parts and pieces, especially with two infants. And then when you get on the plane, they're lap children. And typically I say infants are kind of easy on a plane because it's like all that white noise is going on. It's probably nap time at some point. Maybe they're breastfed, you get a bottle out. Definitely bring like a billion changes of clothes because we never know who's going to spit up or like, have a blowout or all of these things. So like, I would say bring more than you need. Any airline's going to let each adult have like a personal item, which we can shove any diaper bag like underneath the seat. Okay. So let's like chock that full of stuff. Okay. So then like when we get to, because I specifically remember not wanting to be in pumpkin seats anymore because it just like wrecked my back.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I was on that specific trip and we had done so much travel and all this movement. And I went to get a gallon of milk out of the fridge and like my back went into like a spasm and I'm like, okay, this is where we're at.
Cool.
So couldn't wait to get out of pumpkin seats. But then that kind of says, okay, let's say we have a 15-month-old who's in a convertible seat. Then what are we doing? Right? You could do a couple things. We have always rented car seats on the other end of our trip. That way we're not lugging two convertible car seats through security, etc. You still want to have a stroller because we need to strap in those 15-month-olds just like you do with your 21-month-old.
Oh, yeah.
We need to have a stroller. There's a couple things you can do stroller-wise at this stage. Bring your double stroller for like, getting through an airport, packing all the things, like it has storage, cup holders, all of that. And then maybe you have another stroller that you might rent. Because when we go on vacation, we really don't want to be at an amusement park, maybe with this like big heavy stroller or at the beach. So a lot of times we would rent one from like Baby Quip. I'll talk more about Baby Quip, but we need a lot of gear for our kids. And if we're going on a trip to like a bigger city, there's going to be consultants for Baby Quip. And Baby Quip is essentially moms like me and you, Selena, who are renting out baby products.
Such a good idea.
Such a good idea. And honestly, worth every penny, because I will tell you in this instance, let's say I had two 15-month-olds because I did, and we were going to Florida again. I got to the house, which was an Airbnb. Their beds were already set up when I got there.
So nice. Huge.
Yep. Especially with an Airbnb, you can get the key code or whatever it is. She goes in there. She knows she's a mom too. She wants to make this as easy as possible for you. I said, hey, there's a bedroom here. There's a bedroom there. Can you go ahead and get those put up? She had them all set up for me. Now, if she could just put up the blackout curtains, I would like literally have tipped this lady like $1 million. But that's something that we had to do ourselves. I think an easy way to black out a room is, this is what I used to do, guys. I used to go to the dollar store and I would get black plastic tablecloths and I would bring a roll of painter's tape.
Yep.
And I would just layer the windows. Like, now I use the sleep out and that's fine because my kids are older and we don't need like as much coverage. Like in the early infant days, like we want a blackout room because that's what at least you and me and a lot of people listening, our kids are used to blackout rooms when they're taking their naps. So I wouldn't expect them to go to a new room, a new house and like not have that. I think that's kind of key.
Yeah.
So that's that's a really like inexpensive. You just tear them down and put them in the trash when you're done. All is good and everything's the same when you return home. So lap children, let's talk about when we are having our kids on a plane when they're no longer lap children. Because
that sounds really worse to me. Sounds harder.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
That's why I haven't done it yet.
Guys, if you're traveling with a 2-year-old, they can no longer sit on your lap. They have to have a ticket. And taking a 2-year-old on a plane during their nap time, I'm just going to say, is your worst nightmare. Okay? Because I did it. If you have toddlers, I would recommend to go in the early morning. So you might, I'm telling you, you won't regret it. A 6 a.m. flight is going to be more appealing than a noon flight. Okay? Also, a 5 p.m. flight is going to be more appealing than a noon flight because your child would have taken their nap. Okay? And we know a child that has not taken their nap, nobody wants to be around them, especially on an airplane where the flight attendant is telling them to buckle their seatbelt.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, okay, lady, haha, you're hilarious. So I went into that just blind. Of course, we had like all the things. I don't think we had done tablets yet at that age, which that's neither here nor there. I think we could be successful either way. I have seen, though, that here's 2 things you could do. You could bring your convertible car seat because once you strap your kiddo in that car seat on the plane, they feel like they're in the car. And they're not going to move. Mm-hmm. They're going to have their snacks and they're going to have all their things and they're going to be like, all right, this is great. This feels familiar. Whereas being in a seat with just like a lap belt does not feel familiar to them. I have seen this product and a mom, I just saw her using it a couple months ago. And it's like a harness, 5-point harness that actually goes around the headrest of the seat. And then it buckles the child in to where they're kind of in that like car seat familiarity buckle situation, but you didn't have to lug the car seat onto the plane. So that's kind of a genius product. And I watched a 2-year-old sit there contently because she was like, hi, I'm buckled in. Like, I'm fine. So those are 2 things that I recommend if you have to travel in the 2s. Okay. 3-year-olds, we can be a little bit more with the program, I think.
Depends on the day.
But when we're traveling, it depends on the day. It depends on the mood, right? We don't ever know. I just know that that is my least favorite traveling experience when we were no longer lap children and we were expected to stay buckled, and that just wasn't going to happen. And then, going into 3s and 4s, I think it does get easier. We don't have to lug all of that. We might not even need a stroller, or we could rent one. And we, at that age, we're just renting car seats, right? Like we would, and that's a personal choice. I feel confident that, a well-named car rental company is not selling me an expired car seat or one that's been in an accident. And then it's up to me to know how to install it, right? And we've had great success there. So that's kind of like my travel tips when it comes to being on a plane. And then anything you cannot bring with you, let's just go ahead, rent it from Baby Quip. They also rent slumber pods, which are like such a good product for like the right situation.
Yes.
We never use them. I know, Selena, you haven't either. And I think it's just more so like that we're twin parents and like we would need to buy 2 and all of that. But like, I think in a certain situation, it's a really great product, especially if you have to room share. So essentially, it's just like a tent that goes over a pack and play. It fits in a travel size bag, and it basically blocks out your child's sleep area. You can put a fan in there. You can put the baby monitor in there, and it's kind of genius. So we do have a discount code, not from Tweet Dreams, but from a friend of mine. If anybody's looking to buy one of those for the summer, I'll put that discount code in the show notes. Also, this is something that would resell on Facebook Marketplace.
For sure.
Very easily. Very easily. I bet like they sell within like minutes of somebody posting it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And also some consultants actually rent them out, which that's great too, if you want to like look for one. Okay. What else? When we're thinking about an Airbnb, like, so let's say Selena's situation, but like she's not staying with family. I love utilizing Instacart. Like, hey, we're going to be at the house by like, 4 p.m. Let's get that Instacart coming at 5 o'clock so we can have some food. We don't have to go back out into the world and go grocery shopping. Also, if you forget something, Amazon Prime can basically deliver anywhere. So for forgetting sunscreen or whatever it is, utilize those services. There was one time where I forgot a piece to my pump, my breast pump, and remember, and the next day it showed up, and it's basically saved my life. So we are in a day and age where we can literally get our hands on a lot pretty quickly.
The instant gratification. That's what I was reading about the other day. Yeah, I was reading about that the other day, how like, the kids expect this kind of stuff now, right? Because we're like, oh, we need this, let's just get it. It's crazy though, like how we can just do that, right? Even just to think like, 5 to 10 years ago, we couldn't do that. So it's just, we're so lucky to be able to do that, because when my parents were taking us on vacation, like the trunk was to the max, all the food, all the things, ice, you forgot something, like you needed to MapQuest it, take the directions, print them out. If you had a printer, hope you don't make a wrong turn. Like it's crazy.
I know. No cell phones. You had to stop at a gas station for directions. No, I was telling you that we took the kids to Great Wolf Lodge just for like one night. And I was just a little grumpy in my like old school conservative ways that it was like a cashless resort. Haven't experienced that yet. And the kids could just go get a soda anytime they wanted by scanning their bracelet. And I was like, no, I don't like that. Like there's no concept of quantity or exchange of money and things like that. So I thought that was a little odd, and I didn't like that so much. Let's see. So just a couple quick things here, whether you're flying or driving. Somebody had said that vertical laundry bags, I guess if you are driving, are like a good way to pack your child's clothes and things like that, because it's a vertical way to pack instead of side to side, which we want to make use of the SUV or van or whatever we're traveling in. And then you can use those bags for like dirty laundry and things like that. I find just with Airbnbs, like, do your research, okay? Because you don't want to get to a place that just doesn't work for you safety wise, or it doesn't have enough room that you thought, or it was like on a really busy street. So really like look at the reviews. A lot of times I'll put call me crazy, I've like actually messaged homeowners and I'm like, do you have like a layout of the house? Because like, I just need to know like where my kids are going to sleep. And they typically have that because it's part of like the listing. So you can kind of see like, oh, this bedroom's actually like right next to the master. Okay, that makes sense. We can put them there, things like that. My kids have slept in bathrooms, walk-in closets, like gyms, like they've slept everywhere. I know you kind of get crafty as well when you're at the in-laws because like everybody needs to be put somewhere. Whatever works. Bring extension cords because I don't know about the lollipops, but like sound machines, cameras, we need a place to plug in. And sometimes it's not always in the most convenient spot, or walk-in closets typically don't have an outlet in them. So you're going to want to run like a cord out through the door. Yeah, I think that's it. Like guys, even if you're taking a couple days trip or you're going for a week, it's all a lot of work. You might not be ready to do it, and that's totally fine, right? Like it's a lot of work. And I would say the more you do it, just like you said, Selena, the easier it gets. And the more you realize everybody survives. And just like the Great Wolf Lodge, I was like, I can survive anything for 24 hours. Like this will be okay. I'm probably not going to sleep, but we'll make up for it when we get home. And my kids had a blast. So kind of getting outside your comfort zone and doing those things are like what we need to do. And especially in this age, we just have access to a lot at our fingertips, which our parents probably and did not have when we were younger. So I hope this is a helpful episode wherever you guys are going this summer. I hope you guys enjoy yourselves. Still follow a bedtime routine and around the same time that your kids are typically used to sleeping. If you like that regimented schedule life like we do, if things get off track because of travel, you can pick back up where you left off when you get back home. Sleep skills are like a really like easy muscle memory, and your kiddos will fall back into their routine. If you need additional help with travel or after you guys get back, please reach out to us. We are here to help you have sustainable and predictable sleep routines. It's our favorite thing on the universe. We love it. So we'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for listening. Safe travels this summer, and we'll talk to you next week.
If you liked this episode and conversation, be sure to leave a review or rating. Share it with a friend on social media or a family member. It's our goal to reach as many parents of multiples and singletons alike. You're not alone in your parenting journey. If you'd like to hear about a specific topic or have an episode idea, please feel free to message us. We're here to help.